Banned from restaurants. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. A piece of information posted in the Reddit thread, St. Harry's wife. They use her full name, as you know, I don't. And it's posted by Negative Difference 4 that explains as follows. I was at a restaurant opening in Los Angeles with my friend and began chatting with the table next to us. The husband half of the couple, older but a little drunk, tells me he's a developer in Monty Shit Show. Of course, my first question is if he's met Harry's wife or Harry. He says, "Oh yeah, everyone has." I ask, "Well, is she kind?" Well, not that exact question, but along those lines. And he says, "Her? Hell no. Nobody likes her. She treats everyone like shit. She's banned from 2 restaurants because of her bad attitude." He also goes on to tell me that Harry is super nice and affable. Will visit his construction site a lot and bring Archie, ask him lots of questions, say he's the type to be genuinely interested in talking to everyday people and engaging. Not surprising, as he was raised to interact with people from all over the world. Says he doesn't travel with obvious security, then tells me Harry's wife travels with several armed guards and makes it very obvious that they are her security. Thus, this is a piece of information that has been provided. As always, I'll leave it up to you to make a determination as to its veracity. We don't know the individual posting it, and it's a friend of a friend tale, but nevertheless, it would, of course, fit with the nature of the 2 individuals. First of all, Harry. We know that he can be a brat. We know that he can be a twat. We also know that these behaviours are exacerbated as a consequence of his wife's grip on him. The diminution in his own emotional empathy as a consequence of the manipulations that he's subjected to, the emotional thinking that exists, and, of course, the fact that he is being abused. This demonstrates the affability side of him that does exist. It's also interesting to note that it would appear that Archie does indeed exist in this account and isn't brought out as some kind of doll or an actor. But it also demonstrates that it's Harry who is engaging in chatting to people, commensurate with his emotional empathy and the fact, of course, that this is something that is regularly done. Then, of course, the contrast with the behaviour of Harry's wife, where she is seen as obnoxious, unpleasant, not liked, and because of her attitude, that she swans around like Lady Muck, thinking that she's someone important when she isn't. It's also interesting to note that she has purportedly been banned from 2 restaurants because of her attitude. That wouldn't be a surprise. Whilst Harry's wife does operate with a facade, which to the outside world she seeks to portray herself as somebody that is kind, that is compassionate, that is philanthropic, who takes an interest in other people, this facade has its work cut out whenever she experiences a threat to control. In a situation where there is more than one person, i.e., it's not really going on behind closed doors, she will face threats to control. Her narcissism will immediately seek to assert control over that individual and invariably do so with a malign form of manipulation, because this person will have been painted black as a consequence of the fact that they're threatening her sense of control. However, because of the presence of the facade has to almost grapple with the manipulation to say, you can't use this one because you'll damage me. You can't go around punching and spitting people because you'll damage me, the facade, and lose control of more people. And therefore, what needs to be done is we need to adopt an alternative form of manipulation. The problem that then exists, of course, is that when it is a straight battle between the facade and control, control always wins. And therefore, this is why Harry's wife will, in certain instances, have fractured her facade because of the need for control having to win. Furthermore, In certain instances, because she does believe that she's superior to other people, there'll be occasions where she's dealing with tertiary sources, waiting staff, for example, where she won't maintain this facade of being kind and pleasant. She saves that for when she's more out in public. But dealing with someone who's slow to seat her, doesn't provide her with a superior seating arrangement within the restaurant, doesn't let her in at the time that she wants to, well, all of those are threats to control, which means that she will lash out at them. And therefore, it would come as no surprise to learn that she has exhibited a bad attitude, which has resulted in her being banned from the restaurants. Naturally, she doesn't see that it's her fault. The narcissism once again shields her from this. However, it is interesting to note that if this evidence is to be believed, and there's nothing to suggest that it ought not to be, that there's someone with boots on the ground, if you will, who is aware of what Harry and Harry's wife are like, away from them engaging in their public face. Some narcissists maintain this facade at all times, and it's only those behind closed doors who get it. But to everybody else, they're so charming, so affable, so pleasant. Harry's wife is a facade wielder, but because she has a considerable aspect of haughtiness about her, in that she believes that she should be treated ahead of everybody else, that she should be given preferable treatment, that people should kowtow to her, there will be occasions where her snootiness, her haughtiness manifests, and the facade can't deal with it. It would strike me, furthermore, that for her to actually receive a ban must mean that she's probably behaved in quite an obnoxious manner, demanding, putting people down, issuing threats, of course, which all fits with the portrayal of her as being a bully that took place against the Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace staff. The fact is that she has to be the one that is in charge. And it was the case, for instance, when they were in Vancouver, they asked for a restaurant to be cleared, but the restaurant declined that. And there was one occasion, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, when they were in New York, that they arranged that they should be the only ones in a particular restaurant. She, of course, will suggest that it's done for security reasons, but it's actually born out of her grandiosity and wanting to be the centre of attention, because that way it's easier for her to assert control and draw fuel from all around her. But some interesting information that continues to demonstrate the unpleasant nature of Harry's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.